Some other things that you may or may not know about me is after the bond vote, then the election, okay, which the other side won. And during that time also, or before this, one of the things that occurred to me, by the way, is that everyone needs good information, okay? And they need unfiltered information. They need unbiased information. And, the news drives me nuts lately, by the way. The news should not be called the news. The news now should be called, this is what we want you to think, okay? Everyone has a bias now. Everyone has a tilt. Everyone has a lean. And you rarely get the truth. So I'm a big truth person, and I wanted both sides to have access to the truth, okay? So I decided to start a project where I was going to BOC and school board meetings, which there are a lot of, and filming them. And I got some help from some CCL people, okay? There is a YouTube channel called Lakeland TN Video. I started that. I started that, by the way, because some of these meetings were at 4:30, some of them were at 5, some of them were at 5:30, okay? And there's a lot of them. And if you're one of these people who have something called a job, it's not really easy for you to get to these things, okay? But all politicians should be held accountable for the words that they say. And I decided to start filming. And there's now been a split, by the way. There's a Facebook Lakeland TN videos. I've never filmed any of those videos, and I do think that the group doing it is doing a good job. One of the things that I disagree with is something that I did not do in my videos. I did not allow comments, okay? There are plenty of forums that have a back and forth and an argument, and it's like playing tag with people and who got who, and oh, that was a zinger and stuff like that. What I wanted for that was, here is what happened. This is the start of the meeting. This is the end of the meeting. Nothing was cut out, okay? This is what everyone said, okay? And believe it or not, yes, people, I did that for you too. I didn't just do it for no people. I believed everyone should have access to the truth and what happened. And by putting it out there on video, you can go back and see what these people said. If you couldn't make the meeting, you could watch it later that day or the next day, okay? This is something, in my opinion, the city should have already been doing, okay? Something of interest is, remember, I said I'm not running for politics, I'm not interested. People have wanted me to run and asked me to run. The answer is no, it will always be no. I'm not interested in doing this, and I have plenty of other responsibilities. So one of the things that happened as a result of this is I actually got nominated by a local women's group here in Lakeland for Citizen of the Year. For this effort. It wasn't something I was aware of until basically I was being told that I was going to win it. It was an honor. I love, that these people decided to recognize me for that. In the process of receiving it and in conversations that spawned out of it, I felt like it was one of those things that was being a little bit set up to set me up politically. And like I said, I'm not really interested in doing the whole politics thing here. I am interested in telling you the truth about these people and all of these people. You didn't hear about it. It didn't make the local newspaper. I was told it was submitted to them and not ran. That's fine. It's this women's group. They had done it for years, is my understanding, but it was actually good to be recognized, because I can tell you that took a lot of time from me, and that was me volunteering, not just for the yes group or the no group, but for everybody, okay? The mayor actually later on invested in a system to do this for the city. Now, where I have a problem with that, by the way, is not every meeting is recorded, okay? Even now, not every meeting is recorded. Imagine that. Why are you choosing to record some and not others? You have the financial investment, the fixed expense of the system. All you're failing to do is go into that room and hit the record button. Every citizen should have a problem with that. I still have a problem with that. The people who've taken over this video project are still doing that, okay? if you want to know a good lapse in my involvement with all this, by the way, just look at the dates. The Lakeland TN YouTube page was posting videos. Like I said, at some point, I've been kind of out of this for years, okay? Just really got burnt out, decided, doing all this, by the way, I lose money, I lose time. It's time I'm not spending with my 1-year-old, who is now my 2-year-old, that is now my 3-year-old, that is now about to be my 4-year-old, okay? Right now I'm taking time away from my family, my business, something else I could be doing just to try and inform you of what's happening here, okay? Another thing that I was asked to do was, I'm a pretty darn good photographer, and I was at a event at the International Harvester Park. By this time I'd actually gotten to know Jim Willis of Lakeland Currents. Saw him at a Blue Angels photo shoot, and I knew exactly who he was, by the way, and decided to walk over and talk to him. Really nice guy, interesting guy, have a lot of things in common with him. Like I said, I don't really have preconceived notions about people, and especially when politics are involved, and nice guy. Later on, Sherry, his wife, had seen me at this event and asked me if I'd be interested in volunteering for the Lakeland Currents. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that could be fun. Why not? Some of my reasons at the time was, at this time, they had built the middle school. I really wasn't involved in the last election with Denbo, I think his name was. Really, every once in a while, CCL people would give me some information, and I'd be like, yeah, that's for you guys to deal with, not me. And so anyway, I was volunteering and doing quite a bit of photography for them. Shot a lot of football games, really enjoyed that. Met with Sherry, and had a lot of good conversations with her. They're really good people, by the way. You should get to know these people, by the way. This is a big part of why I'm doing this. Everyone thinks that they know people in Lakeland. They're willing to attack them, not because of what they know, but because of false narratives that they are given, and this caricature that someone else has created of this person. So there's a lot of people who probably think I'm some kind of evil devil or something, and I'm really not. But anyway, so I was volunteering for the Lakeland Currents. A lot of CCL people couldn't get that. They had a lot of problems with Lakeland Currents not running negative articles and things like that. And the way I told CCL people I thought of it at the time was, they own the newspaper. They have the right to do whatever they want to do. That's how I feel about it. It's still how I feel about it. They don't make money doing this, and everyone should thank the Lakeland Currents and Sherry and Jim for doing this, because I, believe it or not, I'm not a negative person. Actually, we push negative people out of my company. I don't want them around us. They're cancerous. And I like the fact that Lakeland Currents has positive stories. Could they have some that are more critical? Yes, but like I said, they own the newspaper. They can do with it whatever they want to. But, I'm also one of those people that, I'll call out injustice where I see it, but I'm also not an alarmist. I want Lakeland to be a good city, and I want to contribute to Lakeland being a good city, and this is the type of things that I told CCL people. A lot of them just didn't understand it. They felt betrayed. Led me to be kicked out of a number of CCL groups. Off and on. I'd left, but they would add me back in, and then I'd leave, or they had to add me back in to try and get me re-involved and stuff like that. And then definitely with the Currents, when I did that, a lot of them didn't understand it. A lot of them had some hard feelings about it, stuff like that. There was a lot of distrust about me. I can show you text messages from CCL people asking me if my company has contracts with the city. Am I doing any business? Do I have any financial gain, from the city? Stuff like that. I'm not interested calling those people out. I understand where they came from and how they felt, but I don't know that I'm completely unique in this, but I don't look at every single person and every single issue through the lens of something. The Lakeland currents can do something that's good, they can do something that's bad. You can do something that's good, you can do something that's bad. If you're going to judge someone only for what you believe to be bad, or one really narrow piece of criteria, you're going to find yourself very lonely. Even to people like Matt Wright, I actually said things to him like, man, I'm actually looking forward to being on the same side of an issue with you. You're passionate about this. I get that. Things have gotten pretty far away from, that since then. So, but basically, it's funny. I'm a CCL person who has a young child who is not old, who doesn't want Lakeland to be a retirement community. Another false narrative that was being handed down by Matt Wright in particular on a damn near daily basis is the CCL people, just want the city to fail. Wow. So if you really bought into stuff like that, okay, so wherever you live and whoever you are, generally the largest investment you ever make in anything is your home. No one buys a home somewhere hoping that the city runs down and fails, okay? Like, that false narrative, for anyone who bought into it, is just beyond belief. What you should be really suspicious about when you hear things like that is, what's that person, this doesn't even make sense. What's this person's motivation for telling me this, okay? On the false narrative thing, you making up false narratives about people is bad. You taking action on those false narratives is worse, okay? You believing someone else's false narrative is dumb. You believing the false narrative that a politician has told you is beyond dumb, okay? You taking action based on a false narrative that a politician who is wanting a certain outcome in something, is really disastrous.